Thus time we waste, and long leagues make short. They'll seize in cockles, have and wish but fort, making to take our imagination from burn to bourne, region to region. By you being pardoned, we commit no crime to use one language in each several clime where our scenes seem to live. I do beseech you to learn of me, who stand in the gaps to teach you the stages of our story. Pericles is now again thwarting the wayward seas, attended on by many a lord and knight, to see his daughter, all his life's delight. Old Helicanus goes along. Behind is left to govern, you bear in mind, old Aeschines, whom Helicanus late advanced in time to great and high estate. Well-sailing ships and bounteous winds have brought this king to Tarsus. Think his pilot thought. So with his steerage shall your thoughts go on to fetch his daughter home, who first is gone. Like motes and shadows, see them move a while. Your ears unto your eyes I'll reconcile. See how belief may suffer by foul show. This borrowed passion stands for true old woe. And Pericles in sorrow all devoured, with sighs shot through and biggest tears o'ershowered, leaves Tarsus and again embarks. He swears never to wash his face nor cut his hairs. He puts on sackcloth and to sea. He bears a tempest which his mortal vessel tears, and yet he rides it out. Now, please you, wit, the epitaph is for Marina, writ by wicked Dionysa. The fairest, sweet, and best lies here, who withered in her spring of year. She was of Tyre, the king's daughter, on whom foul death hath made this slaughter. Marina she was called, and at her birth, Thetis being proud, swallowed some part of the earth. Therefore earth, fearing to be o'erflowed, hath Thetis birth-child on the heavens bestowed. Wherefore she does, and swears she'll never stint, make raging battle of hills. No viper doth become black villainy so well as soft and tender flattery. Let Pericles believe his daughter's dead, and bear his courses to be ordered by Lady Fortune, while our scene must play his daughter's woe and heavy reliday in her unholy service. Patience then, and think you now are all in Mytilene.
A street before the brothel. First and second gentlemen.
Did you ever hear the like?
No, never shall I do in such a place as this, she being gone, once gone.
What, you had divinity preached there? Did you ever dream of such a thing?
No. Come, I am for no more bawdy houses, shall go hear this Vestals sing.
I'll do anything now that is virtuous, but I am out of the road of rutting forever. Well, I had rather than twice the worth of her if she had ne'er come here.
Fie upon her! She's able to freeze the god Priapus and undo a whole journey. We must either get her ravished or be rid of her when she should do for our clients her fitness and do me the kindness of our profession. She has me, her quirks, her reasons, her master reasons, her prayers, her needs, that she would make a Puritan the devil I should cheat. Cheaper a kiss of her.
Faith, I must ravish her, and she'll famish us of all our cavaliers and make all of our swearers priests.
Now, the pox upon her green sickness for me.
Hey, there's no way to be rid, but by the way to the pox. Here comes the Lord. Lictimecus is disguised.
We should have both Lord and Ron, and if the peevish baggage would give way to customers.
Oh no, our dozen of virginities.
Now the gods to bless your honor.
I am glad to see you, Honor, in good health.
You may so. So, 'tis the better for you that your resorters stand upon sound legs. How now, wholesome iniquity, have you that a man may deal with all that defy the surgeon?
We have here one, sir, if she would, but never came her like in his lane.
Well, if she do the deed of darkness, thou would say?
Your honor knows what 'tis to say well enough.
Well, go forth, go forth.
For flesh and blood, sir, white and red, you shall see a rose, and she were a rose indeed, if she had but
What's your price? What prithee?
Well, sir, I can be modest.
That dignifies the renown of a ball no less than it gives a good report to a number to be chaste.
Here comes that which grows to stop, never plucked yet, I can assure you. Is she not a fair creature?
Hey, sir, she would serve after a long voyage at sea. Well, as for you, leave us.
I beseech your honor, give me leave, a word, and I'll have done presently.
I beseech you, do.
I would have you know this is an honorable leave.
I desire to find him so, that I may worthily note him.
Next, he's the governor of this country, the man whom I am bound to.
If he governs the country, you are bound to him indeed, but how honorable he is in that, I know not.
Pray you, without any more virginal fencing, will you use him kindly? He will line your apron with gold.
What he will do graciously, I will thankfully receive.
Have you done?
My lord, she must take some things to work with her. We will leave his honor and her together. Go thy ways.
Go that way. Now, pretty one, how long have you been at this trade?
What trade, sir?
Why, I cannot name it, but I shall offend.
I cannot be offended with my trade. Please you to name it.
How long have you been of this profession?
Ever since I can remember.
Did you go to it so young? Were you a gamester at 5 or at 7?
Earlier too, sir, if now I be one.
Why, the house you dwell in proclaims you to be a creature of sale.
Do you know this house to be a place of such resort, and will come into it? I hear you say you are of honorable parts, and are the governor of this place.
Why, hath your principal made known unto you who I am?
Who is my principal?
Why, your herb woman, she that sets seed and roots of shame and iniquity. Oh, you have heard something of my power, and so stand aloof from all soon wooing. But I protest to thee, pretty one, my authority shall not see thee. Else look friendly upon thee. Come, bring me to some private place. Come, come.
If you are born to honor, show it now. If put upon you, make the judgment good that thought you worthy of it.
Whoa, how this? What's this? Some more. Be sage.
For me, that am a maid, though most ungentle fortune hath placed me in the sty, where since I came diseases have been sold dearer than physic. Oh, that the gods would set me free from this unhallowed place, though they did charge me to the meanest bird that flies in pure air.
I did not think thou couldst have spoke so well. Ne'er dreamed thou couldst. Had I brought hither a corrupted mind, thy speech had altered it. Hold, here it goes for thee. Persevere in that clear way thou goest, and the gods strengthen thee.
The good gods preserve you.
For me, be you thoughten that I came with no ill intent, for to me the very doors and windows savour of highly. Farewell, thou art a piece of virtue, and I doubt not but thy training hath been noble. Oh, there's more gold for thee. A curse upon him, die he like a thief that robs thee of thy goodness. If thou dost hear from me, it shall be for thy good.
I beseech your honor, one piece for me.
Avaunt, thou damned doorkeeper, your house, but for this virgin that doth prop it, would sink and overwhelm you. Away!
Oh, how's this? You must take another course with you and your peevish chastity, which it is not worth a breakfast to the cheapest country, where under the cope, and shall undo a whole household. Let me be gelded with a spaniel. Come, your ways.
Whither would you have me?
Well, I would have your maidenhead taken off, or the common horseman shall execute it. Come, your ways. We'll have no more gentlemen, even away. And come your ways, I say.
How now? What's the matter?
Oh, worse and worse. Mistress, she has been spoken holy words to the Lord, Lysimachus.
Oh, abominable.
She makes her profession as if it were stink alone and the face of the gods.
Mary, hang her up forever.
Well, the nobleman would have dealt with her like a nobleman, but she sent him away to as cold as a snowball, saying his prayers too.
Bolt, take her away. Use her as thy pleasure. Crack the glass of her virginity and make the rest malleable.
Well, if she be a thornier piece of ground than she is, she shall be plowed.
Hark, you gods!
Aye, she...
There's away with her, which she had never come within my doors. Mary, hang you! She's born to undo us. Will you not go the way of womankind? Mary, come up, my dish of chastity, with rosemary and babe.
Ah, come, mistress, come your ways with me.
Whither wilt thou have me?
Well, to take from you the jewel you hold so dear.
Prithee, tell me one thing first.
Yes? Come now, your one thing.
What canst thou wish thine enemy to be?
Well, I could wish him to be thy mistress, and or a partner, rather, my mistress.
Neither of these are so bad as thou art, since they do better thee in their command. There holds a place, for which the painted fiend of hell would not in reputation change. Thou art the damned doorkeeper to every coinstrel that comes in inquiring for this tip, to the choleric fisting of every rogue. Thy ear is liable, thy food is such as hath been belched on thy infected lung.
What would you have me do? Go to the wars? Or would you? Where a man may serve 7 years for the loss of a leg and have not money enough to the end to buy a wooden one?
Do anything but this thou doest, empty old receptacles, or common shores of filth, served by indenture to the common hangman. Any of these ways are yet better than this, for what thou profayest a balboon could be speak, would own a name too dear. Oh, that the gods would safely deliver me from this place. Here's gold for thee. If that thy master would gain by me, proclaim that I can sing, weave, sew, and dance, with other virtues which I'll keep from boast, and I will undertake all these to teach. I doubt not but this populous city will yield many scholars.
But you can teach all that you speak of?
Prove that I cannot. Take me home again, and prostitute me to the basest groom that doth frequent your home.
Well, I will see what I can do for thee.
But amongst honest women...
Moving on. Marina thus the brothel scapes and chances into an honest house, our story says. She sings like one immortal, and she dances as goddess-like to her admired lays. Deep clerk she dumbs, and with her kneel composes nature's own shape of bird, bud, branch, or berry, that even her art sisters the natural roses. Her inkle silk, twin with the rubied cherry, that pupils lacks she none of noble race, who pour their bounty on her, and her gain she gives the cursed bawd. Here we her place, and to her father turn our thoughts again, where we left him on the sea. We there him lost, where driven before the winds, he is arrived here where his daughter dwells, and on this coast suppose him now at anchor. The city strived god Neptune's annual feast to keep, from whence Lysimachus our Tyrian ship espies, his banners sable trimmed with rich expense, and to him in his barge with fervor hies. In your supposing, once more put your sight of heavy Pericles. Think this his bark, where what is done in action more might shall be discovered. Please you sit and hark.
Act 5, Scene 1. On board Pericles at Mentally.
Where is Lord Helicanus? He can resolve you. Oh, here he is. Sir, there's a barge put off from Mitylene, and it is Lysimachus, the governor, who craves to come aboard. What's your will?
That he have his. Call up some gentlemen.
Gentlemen, my lord calls. Doth your lordship call?
Gentlemen, there's some of worth would have come aboard. I pray ye greet them fairly.
Sir, this is the man that can in aught you would resolve you. Hail, reverend sir, the gods preserve you.
And you, sir, to outlive the age I am, and die as I would do.
You wish me well, and being on shore, honouring of Neptune's triumphs, seeing this goodly vessel ride before us, I made it to know of whence you are.
First, what is your place?
I am the governor of this place you lie before.
This vessel is of Tyre. It is the king, a man who his 3 months hath not spoken to say one, not taken sustenance, but prorogue his grief.
Upon what ground is his distemperature?
'Twould be too tedious to repeat, but the main grief springs from the loss of a beloved daughter and a wife.
May we not see him?
You may, but bootless is your sight. He will not speak. To any.
Yet, let me obtain my wish.
Behold him. This was a goodly person, to the disaster that one mortal night drove him to this.
Sir King, all hail! The gods preserve you. Hail, royal sir.
It is in vain. He will not speak to you.
Sir, we have a maid in Midland, I goes to wager would win some words of him. 'Tis well bethought. She, questionless with her sweet harmony and other choice attractions, would allure and make a battery through his deafened parts, which are now midway stopped. She's all happy as the fairest of all, and with her fellow maids is now upon the leafy shelter that abuts against the island's side.
Sure, all effectless. Yet nothing will admit that bears recovery's name. But since your kindness we have stretched thus far, let us beseech you that for our gold we may provision have, wherein we are not destitute for want, but wary for the staleness.
Oh, sir, a courtesy which, if we should deny the most just gods, for every graft would send a caterpillar, and so inflict our province. Yet, once more, let me entreat to know at large the cause of your king's sorrow.
Sit, sir, I will recount it for you, but see, I am prevented.
Oh, there she is, the lady I sent for. Welcome, fair one. This is not a goodly presence.
She's a gallant lady.
She's such a one that, were I well assured she came of gentle kind and noble stock, I'd wish no better choice, and think me rarely wed. Fair one, all goodness that consists in bounty, expect even here, where is the kingly patient. If that thy prosperous and artificial feet can draw him, but to answer thee in aught, thy sacred physic shall receive such pay as thy desires can wish.
Sir, I will use my utmost skill in his recovery, provided that none but I and my companion maid be suffered to come near him.
Come, let's leave her, and the gods make her prosperous. Mock be your music?
Nor look on it, on us.
See, she will speak to him.
Hail, sir, my lord, lend ear.
Pa.
I am a maid, my lord, that ne'er before invited eyes, but have been gazed on like a comet. She speaks, my lord, that may be, hath endured a grief might equal yours, if both were justly weighed. Though wayward fortune did malign my state, my derivation was from ancestors who stood equivalent with mighty kings. But time hath rooted out my parentage, and to the world in awkward casualties bound me in servitude. I will desist, but there is something glows upon my cheek, and whispers in mine ear, go not till he speak.
My fortunes, parentage, good parentage, to equal time mine, was it not thus? What say you?
I said, my lord, if you did know my parentage, you would not do me violence.
I do think so. Pray you turn your eyes upon me. You're like something that what countrywoman had here of these shores?
No, nor of any shores. Yet I was mortally brought forth, and I am no other than I appear.
I am great with woe, and shall deliver weeping my dearest wifehood like the maid, and such a one my daughter might have been. My queen's square brow, her statue to an inch, as wand-like straight, as silver-voiced, her eyes as jewel-like, and as ease so richly in pace another Juno, who starves the ears she feeds and makes them hungry, the more she gives them speech. Where do you live?
Where I am but a stranger, for the deck you may discern the place.
Where were you bred? How achieved you these endowments, which makes more rich than too old?
If I should tell my history, it would seem like lies, disdain to the reporting.
Prithee, speed. Falseness cannot come from thee, for thou look'st modest as justice, and thou seemest a palace for the crowned troupe to dwell in. I will believe thee, and make my scenes credit to thy relation to points that seemed impossible, for thou lookst like one I loved indeed. What were thy friends? Didst thou not say, when I did push thee back, which was when I perceived thee, as thou camest from good descending?
So indeed I did.
Report thy parentage. I think thou saidst that thou hadst been tossed from wrong to injury, and that thou thought that grief might equal mine, if both were open.
Some such thing, I said, and said no more, but what my thoughts did warrant me was likely.
Tell thy story. If thine, considered, prove thou 1,000 part of my endurance, thou art a man, and yet I have suffered like a girl. Yet thou dost look like patience, gazing on king's graves and smiling extremity out of act. What were thy friends? How lost thou them? Thy name, most kind virgin, recount, I do beseech thee, come sit by me.
My name is Marina.
Oh, I am mocked, and thou by some incensed good sent hither to make the world to laugh at me.
Patience, good sir, or here I'll come.
Nay, I'll be patient. I'll be patient. Thou little knowest how thou dost startle me to call thyself Marina.
The name was given me by one that had some power, my father, and a king.
How? A king's daughter, and called Marina?
You said you would believe me, but not to be a troubler of your peace. I will end here.
But are you flesh and blood? Have you a working pulse and are no fairy motion? Well, speak on. Where were you born? And where are called Marina?
Called Marina, for I was born at sea.
At sea? What mother?
My mother was the daughter of a king who died the minute I was born, as my good nurse Lycordia hath oft delivered weeping.
Oh, stop there a little. This is the rarest dream that e'er dulled sleep did mock and food withal. This cannot be. My daughter, married. Where were you bred? And I'll hear you more of the bottom of your story, and never interrupt you.
Born, believe me, 'twere best I did give o'er.
I believe you by the syllable of what you shall deliver. You give me leave. How came you in these parts? Where were you bred?
The king, my father, did in Tarsus leave me, till cruel Cleon with his wicked wife did seek to murder me, and having wooed a villain to tempt it, who having drawn to do it, a crew of pirates, came and rescued me, brought me to Mytilene. But good sir, whither will you have me? Why do you weep? It may be you think me an impostor. No, good faith, I am the daughter to King Pericles. If good King Pericles be...
Oh, Helicanus!
Calls, my lord?
Thou art a grave and noble counselor. Most wise in general, tell me if thou canst what this maid is, or what is like to be, that thus hath made me weep.
I know not, but here is the regent, sir, of Mytilene, speaks nobly of her.
She never would tell her parentage, being demanded that she would sit still and weep.
Oh, Helicanus, strike me, honored sir, give me a gash, put me to present pain, thus this great sea of joys rushing upon me, o'erheed the stores of my mortality, and there have thrown me with their sweetness. Oh, come hither, that thou begettest with him that did these thee beget, that thou wast born at sea, buried at Tarsus, and found at sea again. Oh, Helicanus, down upon thy knees, thank the holy gods as the thunder threatens us. This is Marina. What was thy mother's name? Tell me but that. For truth can never be confirmed enough, though doubts did ever sleep.
First, sir, I pray, what is your title?
I am Pericles of Tyre. So tell me now my drowning queen's name. And as the cost... Shit, I'm crying. And as the rest you said, thou shalt then godlike perfect, the heir of kingdoms and another life, to Pericles thy father.
Is it no more to be your daughter than to say my mother's name was Thaisa? Thaisa was my mother, who did end the minute I began.
Now, blessed me, rise, thou art my child. Give me fresh garments, mine upon the Helicanus. She is not dead at Tarsus, as she should have been. My savage Cleon, she shall tell them thee all, when thou shalt kneel and justify in knowledge that she is very princess. Who is this?
Sir, 'tis the governor of Mitylene, who, hearing upon your melancholy state, did come to see you.
Well, I embrace you. Give me my robes. I am wild when I am beholden. Huh? Oh, heavens great, bless my girl. But hark, what music? Tell Helicanus, tell my Marina, tell him, or point my point. Now as yet there seems to be the dote. How sure you are my daughter, but what music?
My lord, I hear none.
None? The music of the spheres. List, my Marina.
It's not good to cross him. Give him way.
Rarest sounds. Do you not hear?
My lord, I hear.
Most heavenly music. It must be unto listening and mock slumber. Hangs again upon mine eyes. Let me rest.
A pillow for his head. So, leave him all. Oh, my companion friends, if this but answer to my just belief, I well remember you.
My temple stands in Ephesus. I they titter, and do upon my altar sacrifice. There where, when my maiden priests are met together before the people all, reveal how thou art. At see this lose thy wife, to mourn by crosses with thy daughters, call and give them repetition to the life, or perform my bidding, or thou livest in woe. Do it and happy. By my silver bow, awake and tell thy dream.
Celestial giant, godless Argentine, I will obey thee. Helicanus.
Sir?
My purpose was for Tarsus, there to strike. What is that word? Strike the unhospitable Cleon. But I am for other service first. Towards Ephesius, turn our blown sails. Ephrunes, I'll tell thee why. Shall we be refreshed, sir, upon your shore, and give you gold for such provision as our intents will need?
Sir, with all my heart, and when you come ashore, I'll have another suit.
You shall prevail. Were it be to woo my daughter, it seems you have been noble towards her.
Sir, lend your arm.
Come, my Marina.
Now our sands are almost run, more a little, and then this my last boon give me, for such kindness must relieve me. that you aptly will suppose what pageantry, what feats, what shows, what minstrelsy and pretty din the regent made in Mitterlin to greet the king. So he thrived that he is promised to be wived to fair Marina, but in no wise till he had done his sacrifice as Diane bade, whereto being bound, the interim pray you all confound. In feathered briefness sails are filled, and wishes fall out as they're willed. At Ephesus the temple see our king and all his company. That he can hither come so soon is by your fancy's thankful doom.
Scene 2, we begin with Pericles.
Hail, Diane. Perform thy command. I have confessed myself the king of Tyre, who, frightened from my country, did wed at Pentapolis the fair Thesa. At sea in childhood she died, and she brought forth a maid child called Marina, whom, O goddess, wears yet thy silver livery. She at Tharsus was nursed and with Cleon, who at 14 years, so he sought to murder, but her better stars brought her to Marilyn, yet whose shore writings her fortunes brought her made aboard us, where by his own most clear remembrance she made herself my daughter.
Voice and favor, you are all royal Pericles.
What means this, the man? She dies. Both help, gentlemen.
Noble sir, if you have told Diana's altar true, this is your wife.
Reverend appearer, no. I threw her overboard with these very arms.
Upon this coast, I warrant you.
'Tis most certain.
Look to the lady. Oh, she's but overjoyed. Early in the blustering morn, this lady was thrown upon this shore. I oped the coffin, found there rich jewels, recovered her, and placed her here in Diana's temple.
May we see them?
Great sir, they shall be brought to you to my house, whither I invite you. Look, Diasias is recovered.
Oh, let me look. If he be none of mine, my sanctity will to my sense bend no licentious ear, but curb it, spite of seeing. O my lord, are you not Pericles? Like him you spake, like him you are. Did you not name a tempest, a birth and death?
The voice of Thaisa.
That Thaisa am I, supposed dead and drowned.
Immortal Diane.
Now I know you better. When we with tears parted Pentapolis, the king, my father, gave you such a ring.
This, no more you gods, your present kindness makes my post miseries sports. You shall do well. On the touching of her lips, I may melt and no more be seen. Oh, come, be buried a second time within these arms.
My heart leaps to be gone into my mother's bosom.
Look who kneels here. Flesh of thy flesh, Thaisa, thy burden of the sea, and called Marina, for she was yielded there.
Blessed and mine own.
Hail, madam, and my queen.
I know you not.
You have heard me say, when I did fly from that I left behind an agent substitute. Can you remember when I called the man? I have named him off.
'Twas Helicanus then.
Still confirmation. Embrace him, dear Thaisa. This is he. Now do I long to hear how you were found, how possibly preserved, and who to thank, besides the gods, for this great miracle.
Lord Saruman, my lord, this man through whom the gods have shown their power, that can from first to last resolve you.
Reverend sir, the gods have no mortal office, that more like the god than you. Will you deliver how this dead queen relives?
I will, my lord. Beseech you, first go with me to my house. There shall be shown you all was found with her, how she came placed there in the temple, no needful thing omitted.
Pure Dian, bless thee for thy vision, when will offer night oblations to thee. Thaisa, this prince, this fair betrothed of your daughter, shall marry her at Pentapolis. And now this ornament makes me look dismal, will I clip to forge. And with this 14 years, no razor mud touched to grace thy marriage day. I'll beautify.
Lord Saruman hath letters of good credit, sir. My father's dead.
Make a star of him. Yet there, my queen, will celebrate their nuptials, and theirself will that kingdom spend our tyrant's reign. We do our longing say to hear the rest unfold. Sir, leads us the way.
So, on your presence, patience, you join here.
That hands us the death people.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
That'd be it.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
I would like to apologize for stumbling sometimes. Brought back that production I saw in Stratford, and I literally started to cry.
We don't allow that, you know that.
I know you don't allow it.
Yeah, it is a tearful ending. And this is just the beginning of all of our romances that have kind of a touching scene at the end.
Okay.
2 weeks
Good.
from now,
Good.
Cymbeline comes on, and we have other things to talk about. We'll see kind of a same kind of form of entertainment, and we will join together.
Yeah.
And hopefully all will be here, plus Paul should be coming back because he has no more rehearsals.
Okay.
Thank you one and all.
All righty.
Thank you. Come back again, everybody. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye, everybody. I really enjoy reading the Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Eden Lee.